Hey, what's up, y'all? I just wanted to follow up with my unboxing video. A little bit of a opinion on this DNT Optic, DNT the One. It's a 7 to 35, but took both of these rifles out to the range a couple of times, and got my Arkin EP5 Gen 1 on my Christensen Arms MPR here. And then I've got the DNT on my, this is also a Christensen Arms, but this is the TFM. But this one's got a Defiance action on it and all that. So, but we're not here to talk about those. We're here to talk about the scopes. Well, specifically this one. So, how did I like it? It is pretty much indistinguishable through the 25 magnification. It's indistinguishable from the Arkin. And just as bright, just as clear, and I'm happy with it. It's definitely going to be the one I'm going to be sporting for quite a while. Well, honestly, not this one, because after my unboxing video, I saw that this one is MOA. I was so excited to unbox it and everything that I didn't even read over things before doing the video. And I'm like, hey, that's not what I ordered. So they're getting it all worked out. They've been really responsive with that. And he's been contacting me. He actually emailed me this morning asking, hey, just ship it out. I'm like, no, I still wanted to do this video. And through talking to them saying, hey, I was planning on doing a review on this because nothing is out there right now as far as user reviews. So he's like, hey, yeah, go ahead, mount the thing. That was one thing I was surprised with, is they allowed me to mount it knowing that I was going to send it back. But they did ask a couple of questions as far as like, hey, how are you mounting it? I under-torqued just slightly on this. I think they recommend 18 inch-pounds. I think I went to like, what was it, 16 or 17 on all these. But it is a lapped mount on here, same on that one. That might be another video I do, is showing my results and mounting or lapping scope rings, because even that very expensive spur mount there, I did a light lap on it to see where it was at, and definitely needed some lapping, which kind of shocked me. But anyway, both of these are lapped and mounted level. Used multiple tools to get them on here as perfectly as I possibly could. But a couple things to note on it is the turret, I thought, had a little bit of slop in it, and you can kind of hear it. You hear that when I let go? It falls into its spot though, so I'm not sure if that's something I worry about or not. But you see that, the little bit of bounce back? I don't know. Maybe it's just this one, but like I said, I'm going to be getting another one here, so I can see if it's this one or if it's all of them. The other thing I noticed on it is that the parallax adjuster, I was trying to see if it had a different indication mark like the other side has for your windage. But the bottom setting, of course, is right there. That's the lowest parallax setting that you have on here, so it has to be down there. When I went to 100 yards and checked the parallax on it, so I dialed it in, and I did the whole head bob behind your scope to see what your reticle's doing on your target. And it was definitely still dancing around quite a bit. So, you know, play with it, dance your head behind it a little bit until it's not moving anymore. I was at where about 140 yards would be on this marker there before the parallax was gone for that 100 yards. And it was the same on 2 and 300. My range goes out to 3. So I had to go just slightly past on both of those. I'm not sure if that's also something that you're going to have a difference from scope to scope on it, but that's the way mine was. Really, to me, if that was really all that important, I mean, of course, you know, just go with something a little bit higher end, but, you know, you're going to spend multiple times the money on this. I think when I saw somebody else talking about this scope online, they had this and a Viper Gen 3, or not Viper, Razor, Vortex Razor Gen 3. And it's about, you know, not 10 times, it's probably 5 times the cost of this. So it's a trade-off, definitely, but for what I paid, under $600 for this, phenomenal scope. And if you've used an Arkin before, you can pretty much expect that this is going to have that same performance on it, just with a couple of differences. That new reticle in there, haven't really determined if it's a yay or nay on that, just because, of course, this being mil or MOA, not mil, it was hard to compare with what I had before. So gonna have to play with that more once I get the new one. Everything's really smooth on it, save for the little bit of backlash I have on this, and it's only on the elevation turret. The windage does not have that backlash. If I go over here to this one, does not have it on that, and it does not have it on that. So it's just this top one here that's got that little bit of backlash on it. Brightness and clarity, great on both of them. Actually, I got these two down here. That's my Vortex Viper PST Gen 2 and the Vortex Venom 5 to 25 first focal plane. All these are first focal plane. Biggest difference on any of these is this one just doesn't have the illumination, which honestly I've almost never found myself using that. I had it one time on low light condition on a hunt where I turned it on the lowest setting, and before I even took the shot I actually turned it off because against the deer I could see it. Against other stuff I couldn't, but we're not talking about that, I guess. So yeah, great scope, definitely in my opinion worth even the $650 if you buy it full retail. In my opinion, it's an EP5, more magnification, different reticle, and that's pretty much it in my opinion. So make your own decisions on it, but I'm happy with it. Gonna be more happy with it once I get my mil scope and I'm able to mount it. Oh, one thing I did notice as well, that protrusion underneath. I thought it was going to be the same as the Arkin. It is not. I wanted to put it in my spur mount. I could not. It sticks out too far. So if you're planning on putting one of these on a spur mount, you're going to have to modify either your spur mount or what I saw somebody else do on the Arkin EP5 Gen 2 is they ground that down. And I don't think I would recommend that. The scope costs more than the mount, not by a crazy ton more, but it still is more for the scope than it is for the mount. So that was kind of a bummer, but I did learn things because I had to put them in this. I do like it that this is a little bit lower, and it works better for this setup because the cheek rise and everything is already higher on that setup over there versus this one. Cheek rise is starting quite a ways down, and of course I got adjustability on this, but yeah, the scope mounts is definitely something you're going to have to look at if you're going to go with a mount like that versus rings. But in the end, I liked having the lower height over bore, and maybe I'll just try to get a cantilever mount or something like that. But yeah, watch out for that if you're trying to select a mount for your Arkin or DNT, because I know that's got it too. It's just not sticking out quite as far. Zeroing was really quick on, of course, on both of these. I think we bore sighted on paper at 100, held zero really well. We played around with them for probably, I think we put about 50 rounds through each, and got it sighted in fairly well at the 100. That one I know where to dial to get out to 200 from the 100 when zeroed. Of course, going to MOA, I had to struggle bus a little bit to figure it out, but once I got it dialed and knew where I needed to dial, it was pretty easy. But once we got it sighted in and out to the 300, we were having fun just taking shots at this 3-inch steel plate. Repeated shots, one right after the next, all hits. And yeah, reliable. I've been using that one for about 2 years now. That's taken 3 deer last season, and every single one of them dropped in place. I think 2 were heart shots, and yeah, definitely reliable. Oh, and the third one, I domed it. But yeah, definitely would recommend it. And if you got the $600 to bring you out a little bit more range on your rifle, definitely what I would recommend. Opinion, of course, but I've looked through a lot of higher end scopes, and the quality distance between something like this and say a $1,500 scope, $2,000 scope, it's minimalistic. If you're going way out for those mile shots and everything, of course, I see guys using the EP5 Gen 2 trying to do couple thousand yard shots, and they seem to do pretty well. Actually, if you look around on Eric Cortina's page or YouTube channel, he does these competitions where you shoot, I think it's 6 progressively smaller targets out at 500. And there was one group that came in and 3 guys had the EP5 on them, and they were doing just as well as other guys that are experienced as them with much more expensive scopes on there. So if you're doubtful about it, I know you can get the Arkins on Amazon now with the return policies and everything. Just try one out. I'm super impressed with them. Been a big fan of Arkin ever since I got my first one. The Arkin was actually a reaction purchase after buying the Venom and having massive issues with eye fatigue because of that eye box being so stinking small. Saw multiple reviews saying, hey, this one outperforms the Venom. So a couple months after I purchased this one. I ended up purchasing this one, and it is so much better than the Venom. I haven't talked at all really about this Viper PST Gen 2. I got this just a couple of months ago, thinking it was going to be an upgrade from the EP5. And boy, was I surprised. This was almost double the money that I spent on that. And the biggest thing, it is nice and clear. I'm sure it tracks well, although I haven't tested anything. I know there's other videos testing these things out there, but the brightness was the deal breaker on this. There is so much more light. It kind of shocked me. I thought the difference was going to be fairly minimalistic, but the brightness on the Arkin and the DNT are the brightness is just way higher. And I'm not a genius when it comes to scopes, but maybe it's just that it's 50. What is this one? 50 millimeter? Yeah, that's 50 millimeter. These are 56, or maybe it's more so the tube. I don't know, but either way, Arkin and DNT much brighter than a Viper. And this one's still pretty bright. Of course, the Arkins are both still brighter than this one. The chromatic shift is definitely not as good in this one. Of course, this is not advertised as ED glass, where both of these are. So maybe that's the big difference, but bottom line is it's a nice scope. Couple of things I'm trying to still work on here, but that parallax adjustment was really the only thing I was kind of like, I wish that was better. But what I'm going to do when I have my mill reticle scope on here is once I get my once I get it mounted and everything, and I figure out exactly where I need to go to get all the parallax weeded out at 100, honestly, I'm probably going to mark it. Same thing with the 200 and 300 and all that. So there you go. My opinion on the DNT, the 1 7-35 MOA. Hopefully I'll get that mill scope soon.